Hello, beautiful people of the internet. I hope you're all having a great day so far. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica. If you're new here, I talk about all things fashion, sewing, and sustainability. Yes. So in today's video, we're going to be hand making some paper. Yes. So when I first started my brand, I used to hand make my paper for my thank you cards. But I was living in a really tiny studio apartment, and I had gotten like a couple sheets made, and it lasted me for a little while. And also I didn't have like a frame to do it correctly, so I kind of makeshift this screen out of like a window screen and a frame that I had. But it was like a really annoying process because like I had to like unclip. You know, it was just like more time consuming than it needed to be. So I had a couple sheets and it lasted me for a little bit, but then I was like, you know what, I don't really have time for this. I don't have the space, I don't have the equipment. I'm just gonna buy some handmade paper on Etsy. So I bought some some large sheets, and then I would cut them down to the size I needed. And I don't even know how many I bought, but I bought quite a lot because it lasted me quite a couple months. And I bought it from White Dragon Paper Co, I think that's what it's called. But now that I'm here, I have the space and I have been saving all of this paper. This is a ton of paper in here from the past year that I've been holding on to, and it's pattern making paper, it's like mail, just a bunch of paper in here. And I'm like, you know what, it's time to put it to use. I ran out of thank you cards, and this is what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to make some paper. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so for this project, you are going to need some type of small towels. I have a bed sheet here that I'm gonna cut into little squares, not little, but like the size of the frame. Whenever you transfer like the paper from the frame, you need to put it like on a towel to hang it up to dry so it stays like flat and it soaks up the water. You need your paper and a large bin. This is the one that my dad uses for harvesting vegetables, so it's very dirty, or it's stained. I cleaned it out, but it's like very stained. Then you need some wood. No, you don't. Okay. You need like a frame with a screen on it. 2 frames with a screen. One of the frames has a screen, the other one doesn't. But I was going to buy one on Etsy, like a pre-made one, but they range from $30 to $60. And honestly, I didn't want to spend that money on a frame, and I can't really afford that right now. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it, because I makeshift one before, but now I have like wood and a staple gun and a saw. So we're gonna make one. So I have this wood here. You can buy usually like little varitas, like little thin pieces of wood that you can make into a frame or a picture frame. But I don't have a picture frame. I don't have a picture frame that I want to that I can use. Like all of mine I'm using, so I don't want to mess it up. And then you need a screen. So I have this old window, Vaed, this old window screen. I'm just gonna cut it out of here. We're gonna use it. And then you need a sponge or like a rag. I'm just gonna use a rag. Oh, and you need a blender. You need a blender. I have my blender over there. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to cut this piece of wood here to make the frames, because I need the frames first. Guys, I've been trying to figure out to turn this on for so long, but I knew how to. You press this and this. That's it. But I'm like, it's not working. Why isn't it working? And so I'm like messing around with the outlet and everything. And I just realized we don't have power. happen actually in a while, but right when I'm trying to do this. Okay, so since there's no power, I gotta do something, because this is what I was gonna do with my day today, and like there's nothing else I can do. So I'm gonna cut out the frame. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna keep doing that until I have a couple, probably like 20 or so. Okay, the power still isn't back on, so I'm going to start cutting up the paper and soaking it in water so that I can then put it in the blender and blend it when the power comes back. So, I'm gonna get some water in here. So I'm just gonna take the papers and just soak them in here. Make sure they don't have anything like tape. I'm gonna rip them up a bit so just like they're in smaller chunks. And so the blender will just really make them just like turn it into like a pulp, which is what you want. Alright, so I have quite a couple balls of paper here. And so you would just throw this in the blender with some water to make it all pulpy. And I definitely have more than enough. I know it doesn't take that much to get like the pulpy water. And I've only used like that much. I still have this much. Like I can make so much. But I'm just gonna start off with this and then go from there. Power's still out. So my mom gave me like these pieces of something. I don't know if it's not PVC, but it's like foam, like a really thick foam that they use for the house. They have some scraps. So she gave them to me and she told me to try and make a frame like this. That was satisfying. Did y'all hear that noise? Oh, it is PVC. Lead-free PVC Celuca foam board. So I'm going to start off with this big one. I have a razor. Alright, so I wanted to make the board 15 by 17. This is bigger than that. The screen is 16 by 18. I need like an extra to like staple it onto the board. I need to be 15. The inside of the frame needs to be 15 by 18, the inside. So I'm just gonna cut a bunch of 1-inch strips and then build it out. I got it done. So there's 2 frames. It's not the most sturdiest thing ever, but it'll get the job done. So I stapled everything together with my staple gun. And so this is how it's gonna work. Actually, I ended up having to make it smaller because I realized, I was like, wait, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this into the bucket. At the measurements I had before, 15 by 17, it was too huge. So it's now framed from the outside, 13 by basically 19. But the inside is 17 by, I think 11. 11. So the inside's how big the paper is gonna be. Okay, so the power has finally come back 4 hours later. It's pouring again, so I'm working with minimal light. But, alright, we're gonna blend this up. Hopefully the power doesn't go out again. Hello. So I have my bowl of paper, And so I am going to just take one of these balls and break it up in here. And get some water and we're gonna pour it in here. You need more water than you think. So I'm gonna put that for now. I have a really old Ninja, like this was my mom's, I don't even know. We're gonna, now it's like this very pulpy like, oh look, here was a piece of tape. Okay, so I think I'm gonna blend it up some more, get some more water, so it's more finer. Okay, so now I'm gonna put it into this bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and keep blending some more of this paper and sort through to get all these tape out. We always collect rainwater in those buckets because of that stream, and we use it to like water the plants and stuff. But I was like, let me use this rainwater for this. Free rainwater. So I literally only used like 3 balls. You see how much left there is? And this is how much pulp it made. So I'm gonna grab some pulp. I'm gonna mix it in the water. Still have some tape. Wow, this rainwater is freezing. And you could also add color to the paper. I've seen what I've done before is I put turmeric powder to make like yellow paper, and it made it very yellow. And it worked, but honestly, I don't feel like adding color. I kind of just want to keep it white so that I can use different colored pens on it. But I think you can put like food coloring. I was gonna look into it, but I was like, oh, whatever. So I'm gonna put a couple swashes. I'm gonna try that first. Okay. We're gonna test this out. Damn, the clip is too big. But you dip your tray in there, you swash it around. I made the tray just a little too big. Get all the excess water out. Then I'm gonna flip it over onto my bed sheet. I'm gonna go in with the towel and I'm just gonna squeeze it. This is where people would use the sponge to like get all the excess water, but I don't have one. You want to try and peel the paper off to get onto the bed sheet. Didn't work. I mean, it worked. The paper's too thin. I need to do it again. It's the first time. I tried a few times. So I need to put more pulp in there. It's too thin. We did it. All right, so I'm just gonna keep doing that for a while. So I will report back when I'm done. Good morning. I'm looking real cute right now, but the universe keeps testing me. So I had made about a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made a total of 8 sheets yesterday, and then I put them in my parents' balcony, and I hung them there. But today woke up and it was pouring. It hasn't been raining for weeks. It's been really sunny and dry, and then all of a sudden it just starts raining. Like the days that I'm trying to do this and I need sunlight to dry my paper. And so they fell in the middle of the night, and 2 of them got messed up. Like they're still paper, but just got like super like wrinkly, like squished. Honestly, I'm just going to put it back into the water and do it again. So the rest of them look fine. They're not dry still. They need to dry more, but I brought them in here because it was so windy and they just were flying and they were getting wet outside. So I brought them in. They're drying on my table. But I'm just gonna make some more. I'm gonna spend the day making more because I didn't even get to really do it all, like all the ones that I wanted. I need a lot more. So I need to make some more pulp and we're gonna make some more paper. So let's hope that these don't give me so much trouble. But let's just get into it. We've got paper, dirty paper. So I spent, this is like 2 days later, 3 days later, I don't know. But I spent the day making more paper, and then the sun finally came out. So I decided to like put the paper outside to dry in the sun because it was raining so much and it gets really humid down here, like where I live. So I felt like it, you know, things were just taking so much longer to dry. So I put it out in the sun for a while, but then the dogs decided to just walk on me like it was nothing. So now some of them have paw prints on them. Look at this one. I ended up with about 20 sheets, and honestly, like, these took me so long, I was not gonna scrap them. I was like, they just have paw prints on them. So if you buy something from me, you're gonna get a little signature from one of my dogs. I'm pretty sure this is Healing. I will put a picture of him right here. He's really cute. So, you know, you got a little signature from him. And then I had to bring them in because it started raining. And then my cat decided to walk on them. I don't think you can you see the indentations? So her paws weren't dirty, but she indented the paper with her paw prints. So these are just, you know, they got my animals all over them. I also peeled them off from the fabric so that they could dry better on both sides because the the bed sheets were still pretty moist. So I peeled them off from the bed sheets and then I put them underneath like this big kind of book thing that I have. You can use like some really heavy books, and then I put some weights on top just to make the papers really, really flat. Because they can like kind of curl up while they're drying. So to make them really flat, I like to put them underneath some really heavy pieces. So I have about 20 sheets, and those should last me quite a long time to make my thank you card. Because if I cut up the pages evenly, I have about it gives me about 6 little note cards this size, which you could always make them smaller, whatever. And then it gives me some leftover, which I'll just turn these into like hang tags. So those will last me a long time, but I still have so much paper and I have like paper like grounded up still, so I'm just waiting for a day where it's like gonna be fully sunny so that I can do this outside and I can let them air dry outside in the sun because they dry a lot quicker. And just having them inside in the humidity and it's been raining, it just is taking so much longer. So I advise, if you're gonna try this, do it outside, do it on a sunny day so that it's not as complicated. But yeah, this was kind of a challenge for me. It always is. I always think like, oh, I'll just get it done real quick. It's never real quick. And some of you might be like, why are you taking the time to do this? And honestly, it's because one, it saves me a lot of money because hang tags or thank you cards are so like disposable, so single use. I try not to be as wasteful as possible within my brand, within my own life. So if I can recycle my own paper and make my own thank you cards, and just spend like a day or two like whipping this out and taking the time to do it, then I think it's much more worth it having like a more circular system within my brand, which is the ultimate goal. Whenever you are buying these thank you cards, even if you're buying them from No Issue, which they use recycled paper, and if you don't have time, you can do that. You can go ahead and customize your own thank you cards from them, and they use recycled paper and they use soy ink and everything, but those are still resources that they're using, still new water, still ink. So I just like to be as resourceful as possible. And whenever you're making your own hang tags, if you're using recycled paper and you keep reusing the same water consistently because you don't need you don't really need to add any more water until you're like completely done with the whole process. So honestly, it's really great if you're a small brand and you really can't afford that and you want to be like a completely circular and sustainable brand. This is a really great way to incorporate that into your brand, into your production, into your system. So yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful and you learned a little something, and that you're gonna try this out. Don't forget to like and subscribe because in next week's video, I'm gonna start my made to order production. Yes, I am restarting my made to order production and I am taking you guys along with me every step of the way. So if you don't wanna miss that, turn on your post notifications and like and subscribe. I love you all and I hope you all have a great day.